Coach Blue for you, and today we're going to touch upon or talk about being true to oneself for happiness or for satisfaction. We hear that a lot about I want to be true to myself, be true to yourself. They say it a lot. I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be me, I'm real, this, that, and the other. But what does that really mean? What does that really entail? And actually, the question I want to ask you is like, does any of us really know who we really are? Who are you? Who have you become? Who were you? Um, Many of us really don't know. And some of us may never really know who we are, what the real true you or I may be or may not be. So, kind of identifying who the real you is difficult. It's not easy. And honestly, I don't think we can actually get to that true state without, based off our parameters of where our beliefs, the parameters that we live and work in our current world. I don't think those allow us to get to the point where we can reach of knowing who we really truly are. I think it takes some extreme spiritual intervention, some spiritual guidance, meditation. It's another level, it's another dimension that you have to experience in order to get to that point. And trust me, I'm not there. I'm not even close. So don't think that it's coming from someone who's arrived or I'm in nirvana or I've reached a state of where I know who the true me is. But saying all that, I do have things that I know about me that I feel comfortable with, that who I am and how I operate, that I guess contribute to the quote unquote knowing the real me or who I am. So, what I'd ask you to do is try to identify those things that you feel make you. Some of your key characteristics or traits that make you who you are, some of your good qualities that make you the person that you are, and some of your bad qualities because that makes up some of the person that you are as well. And then look at those things and, excuse me, evaluate what are those things that are really like your core, and like in business world, your core values, the core things that make you up or that you believe in or feel strongly about. So having those type of beliefs will help you understand, possibly, or guide you in direction who the real you is. And then once you look into it and you find out, wow, I like these parts of the real me. I like that. I like those core beliefs. And if there's some in there that you don't like, hey, here's an opportunity to change them. You can make them different. You don't have to keep them. You can change them. You have that option. You have that right. So pay attention to those core beliefs that propel you forward. And if you have core beliefs that seem to hold you back or steer you off in a different direction, you have the option to change that. You don't have to keep them. So part of it, like I said, is let's identify the real you. If you get to the point of who the real you is based off some of your core beliefs or things that you find important in your life that drive you or that are passionate to you, those may be some of the things that identify who the real you are, is or you should be. Like I said, the parts that you don't like, change them. Go ahead and change them and make them different, make them better, or make them what you want them to be. So we kind of talked about what's first the real you. What is that? We cross that off. We're trying to identify who the real you is, or does it even exist? That's like a different meditative or spiritual states. It does. Parts that you like or dislike. We talked about that. If you like your parts, those parts, utilize them. If you don't, change them. And then I guess, why do you want to be true to yourself? What's the reason or importance of it? I guess the biggest commonality behind it is people are looking for happiness or self-satisfaction. They believe if they're true to themselves and not trying to be someone they're not or trying to appear differently than whatever, then it should lead to internal happiness. Well, let's make sure everybody understands this. Happiness is within. It's not through others. So your happiness lies within you. It doesn't come from other people. It doesn't come from other things. It doesn't come from stuff. It truly comes from within you. So until you are truly comfortable within you, with what's in you, that happiness or that self-worth may be difficult to find or to achieve until you find that within. Nobody can give it to you. No one can materialize it for you but you. So it's within you. It's not outside. It's not material stuff. Those things can add to happiness or make them feel better or make you feel better about different things, but they don't create true happiness. Because you can have happiness without any of that stuff. If that stuff is what helps make you happy, then you're empty. So work on that. Um, we talked about changing what you don't like. Also, what you want to do is have strength. You want to have strength in reference to being the true you or being the real you, however you want to classify it. Because a lot of times you get criticized or chastised or judged based off of those things or characteristics or actions that you have, and people will want to drag you down based off of it because they don't like those things. You've got to have the strength to maintain those core values or core beliefs that you have and exercise and move on with them because they're yours. They're for your own self gratification, your own self satisfaction, for your own benefit, and for your own internal happiness. So don't let other people drive that internal happiness for you by bashing you or judging you or making you feel bad about this. So have the internal strength to repel that, the internal strength to after they dump on you, to stand strong. Say, hey, this is what I am, this is who I am. I'm okay with what you said, but I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm going to continue to walk. I'm going to continue to move on with my head up, my shoulders back. I'm going to take another step. I'm going to move on. We talked about the ability to be real. Like I said, I think it's through meditation. Um, One other point in reference to being real, a lot of people say, well, being real is often being offensive or very negative or defensive because people have the perceptions, they're not going to run over me, they're not going to tell me what to do or downplay me, or they're going to put me down or this, that, and the other. I'm not going to let anybody do that to me. Well, you're doing it for others at that point. I'm not saying you want to be walked on or put down or demoralized or made to feel less than. That's not what I'm talking about. But you don't want to be so offensive or so aggressive in fighting somebody about those issues that it takes away who the true you may really be, because it's not the true you. Is the true you about being defensive or fighting somebody all the time about who you are or who you're not or what you're not going to let them do? That goes back to the strength part. You got to have enough internal strength and internal knowledge or belief on who you really are and be comfortable with it so you can continue with that. Because if you're comfortable with it, I think that's probably the key words, being comfortable with it, with your internal beliefs of who you are, that you don't have to fight it as hard or be as defensive or be offensive when someone challenges something with you. Because you can say your point, get your point across, and be done. They don't have to believe you or agree with you. But you don't have to get into a confrontation or beat back at them about what you are or what you're not, or be so hardcore about it. That's their loss, not yours, because you know the greatness that's inside of you. So let's work on that part. Let's work on the part of not being so defensive or so offensive or so negative, and throwing all that negative energy out just to defend on who we are. You know your name. My name's Dwayne, or Coach Blue. Well, if 100 people line up and call me Jimmy, why should I really care? My name's Coach Blue. I know my name's not Jimmy. So what am I really fighting for? To change their belief, to make them believe my name is not Jimmy, it's Coach Blue? I know it's Blue. No matter what they say for the rest of their life, it's not going to change my name. So in that same aspect, don't let that do that to you and based off who you believe you are or what you're aspiring to be. We talked about comfort. We talked about confidence. Develop those within yourself. Do the little things that make you feel confident. Based if it's grooming yourself properly, dressing yourself a certain way, and inspiring a different type of belief. Getting into a particular physical fitness or shape or structure. Getting into a typical spiritual guidance or belief, or more into a spiritual relationship with whoever you choose to believe in. Work on those things that build your confidence, because that's what is going to contribute or derive the core behind your happiness based off of being the real you. Just want to make sure I got all my points. I crossed everything out that I wanted to touch upon. Kind of disorganized a little bit over the last day or two. A lot of stuff going on. Trying to keep my thoughts focused. Trying to make sure that I stay on point, because I need to do and where I need to go as well. But like I said, and often a lot of these videos, I'm not exempt or above any of this. I have my own struggles of who I am daily. I have to continually exercise different beliefs about me to the point where I can stand tall and be strong. Sometimes I feel like the weight of the world's on my shoulders. Those are days I have to make sure I stand up straight, throw my shoulders back, hold my head up, and walk straight to exude the confidence that I know that I have or that's within me. I know I'm not a Denzel Washington or the greatest looking guy in the world, but I do know that I have a decent look. I have a decent mannerism. I have a decent aura that I give out, and that is something that gives me confidence. So in the combination of walking tall or walking with confidence and knowing those things about me, then that's how I should exude myself on a daily basis. Some days are hard, some days are easier than others, and then getting back into shape or getting into the physical structure that I like to have or I'm comfortable with adds to it. So those are just three little things that help with this knowing who the real you are, this internal satisfaction, the internal belief, the happiness within, and those things start to attract more things to increase your confidence, to increase your belief, to increase to who the real you is, which helps develop that happiness inside. So as I say in all these videos, none of this is easy. Some of it is very hard or challenging, some days more than others. So I ask yourself, just work on those things. It's day by day, piece by piece. Uh, Put things in writing, create your own journal for those of you. Some of it may put it in writing or being able to see it in that type of structure is more reinforceful. Videotape yourself, talk back to yourself, record yourself just to hear how you're saying. Talk to a family or friend or relative to get some feedback as well. But there's a variety of things that you can do. But start working on the simple things that give you happiness or support your beliefs in your own happiness or support the beliefs that develop within you to make you feel good about you. There's not many of those out there, then you have to work hard on replacing them with some that you may not be able to find a lot. Start with one at a time and build from there. This is Coach Blue at you one more time. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. Tell your family and friends about me. And most of all, before you leave me, I ask that all of you gain understanding. Peace.